Nerderotic.com.
Welcome back to Nerderotic. My name is Gary Beekler, and I come to you from Nerderotic.com, and we need to talk about Captain Marvel again. The hits keep on coming, but it won't be about Brie Larson or her comments. I am done with that. She is just a crazy actress, and that had absolutely no bearing on my opinion of this very bad film. And Bounding Into Comics put out an article today that might shed some light on why this was a bad film. It looks like the Captain Marvel directors either didn't give a crap about the MCU continuity or just didn't know. A sure sign of a bad film is when the director or directors have to go out to major access media outlets and explain major questions they have left in the film, like why the hell was the Tesseract just laying around? According to our good friends at Bounding Into Comics, and yes, I gravitate towards the sites like this now. Occasionally, I'll still read from comicbook.com and some of the garbage tier websites when they get ridiculous, but most of the time, I get my news from Bleeding Cool, Bounding Into Comics, and Cosmic Book News because they're good people over there. And this is written by our friend John F. Trent. Thank you for a great article. Captain Marvel director Anna Boden explains Tesseract use in Captain Marvel. It doesn't make any sense, and he is so right about this. And like I said before, if a director has to explain something after the film, it means you failed. Captain Marvel director Anna Boden explained why she and co-director Ryan Fleck used the Tesseract to give Carol Danvers her powers. Speaking with Empire, Boden initially questioned, do we really need to create a whole new energy source for her to gain her powers? She then points to the fact that the United States government already has the Tesseract in their possession. Our thought was they had gotten this thing, but they didn't know anything about it, Boden says. Well, the person who doesn't know anything about it is you, Miss Boden, or Mrs. Boden, I'm not sure, and Mr. Fleck, because they knew what they had, but I will continue. They just had it lying around somewhere at S.H.I.E.L.D., and Marvel was able to use it to create her light speed engine at Pegasus. Only her as an alien would even know it had all this power, and I will add her as a female alien, and figure out how to harness it. This is a major retcon from Captain America, the First Avenger, and I will add Agent Carter. Yes, the United States government had possession of the Tesseract. If you remember, Howard Stark recovers it while they were searching for Steve Rogers. Not only did the government have possession of the Tesseract, but they also had a pretty good idea that it was the source of the weapons being used by the Red Skull's Hydra soldiers. They had a very good idea because Steve Rogers actually mentions it in the Avengers, and I believe in Captain America, First Avenger. By the way, is he still the First Avenger when the Avenger came from Carol? I mean, again, continuity errors. In case you've forgotten, there's a whole movie about Captain America fighting Hydra soldiers wielding Tesseract weapons. Here's a clip of Howard Stark already working on the reverse engineering of the Hydra weapons. There it is right there. I'm not going to play you the clip, but you can go to the article. Boden's explanation doesn't pass the sniff test based on what we saw in Captain Marvel either. The Tesseract had actually been removed from Earth by Marvel. I find it really hard to believe that the United States government would allow anyone to remove a Tesseract from their own black sites. However, that is the case in Captain Marvel, as the Tesseract is hidden on Marvel's cloaked spaceship. The cloaked spaceship that can't travel light speed, but it can be cloaked with the big science lab that Marvel uses as a rec center for wayward Skrulls, and decides to use the inferior science lab in 1990s America. We also know from the Avengers that S.H.I.E.L.D. was actually researching the Tesseract and had developed similar weapons to Red Skull's Hydra. In fact, S.H.I.E.L.D. had been working with Hydra scientist Armin Zolo as revealed in Captain America Winter Soldier. Indeed, they were. And speaking of Armin Zola, the fact that the character exists completely refutes Boden's idea that Marvel, as an alien, would be the only one who knew about the Tesseract and how to harness it. Armin Zola had already done it in Captain America, the First Avenger. He was a human, not an alien. What do you make of Boden's comments about the Tesseract? I'll tell you what I think, Bounding Into Comics and viewers. Could it be that they're about to flush the MCU continuity down the toilet in Endgame, so it doesn't really matter? Nah, I don't think so. Could it be that they didn't know about MCU continuity? I can't buy that. They had plenty of consultants and Kevin Feige there. Or could it have been agenda? Could it have been that they didn't want to connect Carol Danvers' powers to a male in any way, shape, or form? Bingo, I think that was it. MCU continuity be damned over agenda. And this is what happens when you put it before storytelling. It's not like we haven't seen this before. We haven't seen these character arcs that end up being straight lines because everybody's just perfect from the get-go. It's what Professor Geek correctly pointed out as the new feminist hero's journey, which is simply, you're great, you just had a man keeping you down. Very exciting. I can't wait to see more of this stuff. So for those of us who are worried Endgame might be ruined a little bit from this movie, I think you're right to think so. Of course, we have to wait and see the film. I don't want it to fail. I didn't want this film to fail. And when I say feminism, it's the label that the director uses for this film. It's not real feminism. I understand that. Now, there are some out there who said that this film really wasn't that filled with agenda from both parties, who liked it and didn't like it. I would strongly disagree. I would say it's equal to Star Trek Discovery, The Last Jedi, and the recent season of Doctor Who, and I will eventually do a scene-by-scene breakdown of this film to show you where I'm coming from on that. But you are certainly entitled to your opinions. It never hurts to bring new blood into your franchises, but man, do they have to be talented, and Boden and Fleck were not up to their job, and their body of work kind of shows that. You tried, but you failed, and that's part of putting yourself out there. That's why Bounding Into Comics writes these articles. They're prepared for the criticism they're going to get. I'm prepared for the criticism I'm going to get for making this video. Because according to the Access Media, I am not allowed to criticize a film, especially one starring a woman or directed or co-directed by a woman, because that would make me sexist. While I maintain that I am not being sexist at all by treating them as individuals, because I'm old-fashioned. I like to treat people as individuals. But do what you like. Like, share, and subscribe. Everybody have a great day, and may the small folks sing songs of your greatenes.
Nerderotic.com. Please subscribe.